Okay, I guess we're ready to go. February 25th, 2024. Doreen is blessed. Stopped by at 6:43 p.m. I want to thank Doreen for her support. She's always been very supportive. Christopher W., 8:32 p.m. Haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. Just cooling. Hey, hope you're doing well. And Young, I hope you stop back by. Interested in your thoughts on this. I guess I could wait or just get started. I'm not really sure. So the title is Checkmate. I don't know when people are going to learn. When are they going to learn that when it comes to entertainment, with the exception of certain crimes, not all, I'd say negative publicity is good publicity. Hey, J Truth, how are you doing? I was just talking to myself here, and that's okay. Um, I was talking about the fact that I don't know when people are going to learn. Uh, and you would think with the internet, hey, yourself, how are you doing? With the internet, people would learn that when it comes to entertainers, well, there's no such thing as bad publicity unless of crime, I think, right? Can't get caught up in the Me Too movement or anything like that. How are you all doing this evening? So this live is Checkmate. Beyonce, isn't that what she did? That's exactly what she did. They both, and the internet and all of these MAGA supporters. Hey, Vibrant Lull, how you doing? They did the hard work. These entertainers don't really like to go out and do interviews and so forth. A lot of them don't anyway, to promote. But they did the hard work for her by promoting her two singles. All of this hoopla about Beyonce going country. If you've been following her career, saying she started going country back with the Lemonade album. That's one thing. She had a country song on there. I think it was called Daddy's Lessons. It's really good. I like that one better than I like the Texas Hold'em, which is more of a line dancing kind of catchy tune, but that's cool. So anyway, yeah, so this isn't anything new. Hey, PD Pete, it's nothing new for her to, I don't know if I want to even call it reinventing. I stopped actually, this is a confession. I stopped listening to a lot of her music right when Lemonade came out. It just wasn't feeling it. And that's just because I think she just had outgrown me in a lot of ways. I just was used to hearing something from her that was more pop, dance, as opposed to going in the direction that she did. And I think, that's just my opinion, just my 2 cents on that. So she lost me with Lemonade, and we never really caught up after that. But all of these people raising Cain about Beyonce's country album, forget the country roots. Hey, Lady Tia, how are you doing? Country roots. They forget that Black people invented country music, okay? And this cultural appropriation has been going on from the braids, taking us back a little bit, time travel here with Bo Derek's movie 10, The Braids. Okay, that's more recent. But okay, let's go back to Big Mama Thornton. We probably can go back even further than that. She was the first to put out Hound Dog, right? And if you listen to her version of Hound Dog, she is really letting a dusty, no good man have it. Okay. The difference between her version and Elvis Presley's sanitized, whitewashed version, it's 360 degrees turnaround. You can find it on, but yeah, I can't play it here. But anyway, so let's talk about this cultural appropriation since, people are in an uproar about Beyonce going country and country music stations refuse to play her songs. I wasn't aware, and I'm not trying to be funny, that we still had radio stations. I listened to satellite personally in the car, and there's YouTube and other ways, streaming services to get your music. So who knew that we still had radio stations? It's kind of like, do we still have newspapers? And the answer to that, a hard copy, yeah, you do, but everything's going digital. So these individuals, including this actor, I don't know if any of you all watched Dukes of Hazzard in the 80s or even reruns of that show. But anyway, one of the actors, John Snyder, went on this tangent about Beyonce and her country music and all of this other stuff. Mind you, he's originally from New York, and he tried his hand at country unsuccessfully in the 80s. And Tyler Perry just recently cast him in a role. I think he played a racist in that role. I don't know that he's so far removed from that. Yeah, Bo and Luke. Never did. Wait, Bo, was he the blonde-haired one? I can't remember. The car was the focus for that show, right? PDP. But anyway, I just wanted to say that she did Checkmate here. She played chess. I guess we can debate whether or not Jay-Z is responsible for that. I don't know. But she played chess here. And like I said, she didn't have to do any promoting for these two singles, the MAGA hats and other people. Okay, Snyder was Bo. Okay, he's always an airhead. And he's gotten worse since he's gotten older. But anyway, yeah, she played chess and she won. Those Daisy Dukes. Is that what you remember, PDB? You might be showing your age here too. Anyway, does anybody want to come up and share their thoughts, or are you good? Because I'm just kind of free flowing here and badly. Badly. Oh, yeah. You remember the Daisy Dukes? Tell me, did you like the actress who was wearing those Daisy Dukes? I don't know. Yeah, so for quite a long time, I don't know if it's the Black community, I don't necessarily think we allow people to come in and appropriate our stuff, our style, our music, our culture. Hey, Doreen, I hope you're doing well. But it happens, right? We've now got people mentioning Eminem as one of the GOATs in rap. just being honest here, uh, to those friends who are diehard hip hop, none of them have ever requested Eminem. What's bull, J Truth? None of them have ever requested Eminem. I don't know. To me, then people are so quick to say he's a lyrical genius. Okay, we got to define what that means. Um, uh, it's appropriate right after a rap challenge, a very good one yesterday. But no, I don't know if he's a rap lyrical genius, other than he has an audience, right? Oh, okay, PDP. You were a bit ambivalent about Daisy Duke, but she created that fashion wave. You think she created the Daisy Dukes, or were those around before? J Truth, do you want to come up and what's bull? I don't know. I don't like dead air, so I just keep going with this. Anyway, so this started off as being about Beyonce, but it's really become more. I'm interested in this cultural appropriation that we have. I think at this point, we have allowed a lot of people into the culture. And what have they done? They have appropriated it and taken it for their use. And we don't see any returns on the investment there, right? And then when they do it, it's like they are doing something new when we know you're absolutely right, PDP. There's nothing new under the sun, nothing new there. So people forget about Charlie Pride, um, Black artist in country music who had 29 number one singles. People forget that Hank Williams Sr. learned to play the guitar. I can't remember his name. It was a Black musician who taught him that. Right. So, and many years ago, Little Richard was saying how Elvis and so many other white artists had come in and stolen his swag and everything, his act and everything. So people conveniently forget, or maybe they don't know their history. It's not far-fetched to say that Black people in the U.S., they've created a lot, especially when it comes to music, especially when it comes to art. Well, music is art. So, I mean, there you are. Do I have a co-host or no? Nobody's volunteering. Nobody wants to come up. And I seriously need a co-host. I'm trying to get over this cold. I said I would keep my word and go live. And I bet if I switched up to content I really don't want to talk about, I'll get more people talking. But I really don't want to go there. Whose roof is Pain? Whose roof is Pain? Also known as T-Tot PDP. I don't know who that is. And that's a surprise for me because, oh, thank you. I usually know my music history like that. Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you for that. So, yes, country music has Black roots. And all of these folks that are screaming and hollering about Beyonce or anyone else coming in, they accepted Darius Rucker. I think we know who he is from Hootie and the Blowfish, right? There's a singer by the name of Mickey Guyton. She's really good, and I like her music. She's in country music, so country music has always been available. But I remember, not personally, but hearing, at least from elders, what a scene people made when Ray Charles made his country album. And I think he won 2 Grammys for it. So, you know, um, like you say, PDP, there is nothing new under the sun. I don't see a conspiracy here. I know a lot of times people want to think, oh, well, she's just entering country music because she's trying to compete with Taylor Swift. She doesn't need to compete with Taylor Swift. Those two don't need to compete with each other at all. And it does sound, a lot of country music does sound like R&B, even trap. You're right, PDP, because what's happened is, I can't think of the name of that Georgia Mason Dixon line. Hey, Strictly Platinum, I hope you're doing well. I can't think of it. I think it's them. They've incorporated some rap into their music. The bottom line is this here with country music. From the 90s onward, I would say a lot of it is pop. And that's why Taylor Swift, who was already pop in country music, that's why she switched over to pop and fully embraced it. And the shelf life of a country music artist isn't as long as it would be in other genres, I think. It's quite short. So, getting back to what I was saying about Taylor Swift and Beyonce competing against each other, and it was all the stuff on the internet saying that Beyonce might have done this because she's competing with Taylor Swift. They both have their lanes. They have their audiences. Their audiences cross over. I don't think it's a matter of she's competing with anybody. If anything, she might be competing with time. And that is something that she's going to lose because when you reach a certain age and at a certain stage, and depending on how you're evolving and are devolving with your music here, it's a new generation. Who knows what 16-year-olds like to listen to these days? Who knows what's in and what's out? So if you're trying to reach that group, forget it. And if you're trying to keep people like me, well, you might want to forget that too, because these days, when I'm streaming or listening to music in the car, it's old stuff that I grew up on, or that I may have heard in the house being played. It's nothing that's less than, I don't know, 2010. Yeah, okay. There's some decent music, but not really. And I would say that for hip hop too. I mean, the kind of stuff that they're putting out now, it's, I guess I'm getting old. And I'll accept that because I can't, there, I can't with that. So I am going to drop the link. I think nobody wants to come up. And PD Pete, Strictly Platinum, Vibrant Low, you guys are like me. We're always chatting, but none of us hit the link anywhere. So I can't really get other people's opinions on what they feel about this. I don't know how you all feel about this. Do you think, in terms of Beyonce, do you think, first of all, I guess I should start by asking if anybody likes her music. You're not going to get flamed if you don't. Does anybody like her music? I'm just reading the chat. Nobody's typing. So I'll go on record as saying, yeah, I did like Destiny's Child. And I did like a lot of her music. Like I said, I think up until the Lemonade album, it was cool. And then there was a sudden shift, and I wasn't able to keep up with that particular shift. So I blame myself more than anything. Yeah, Vibrant Love, where is Fairy Carey? I haven't seen her around very often. I don't know what's going on with her. I haven't seen her in over a month or two. I hope she's doing okay. I don't know. I know people take extended. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Strictly Platinum. You got me. That her old sound was, I vibed to that quite a bit. But I couldn't get into the Lemonade, and I felt very embarrassed. Okay, okay, that's good to hear, Vibrant Law. I felt very embarrassed because I have all of these intellectual friends who were really, oh yeah, that's so profound. And in this video, she's doing this, and they're just breaking it down scene by scene. And I'm just thinking to myself, huh? I mean, what happened to, what's that song by her? She's sampling Donna Summer. But okay, I can't think of that particular song at the moment. But what happened to Halo or If I Were a Boy? You know, I like those, that sound. I just wasn't into this. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be. And I don't either. You don't have to duck Vibrant Low because I don't really seek her out. I don't. She has to come on the satellite when I'm listening to it. Right. She's trying to keep up with the young artists, but like I said, everybody has a shelf life. The only people I can think of who were able to reinvent themselves like that for a while, Madonna was able to do it for a while, but once she started having all that cosmetic surgery and started looking like something from outer space, she completely lost her audience, I think. People who listen to her music, or they're listening to it back in the day. Right. Vibrant. So she's fighting with Father Time, and that's going to be a losing battle. I mean, think about it for a minute. Jay-Z put out an album a couple of years ago. I couldn't listen to that at all. I know he's evolved from Can I Get a, you know, I know he has evolved quite a bit from those days, but I'm still stuck there with him. And so I wasn't into any of that. And, you know, Jay-Z is in that age group. I think he's like 54 or 53 or 54, which is not old. But for this generation, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, 25-year-olds, they're not about to listen to a geriatric rapper, rap to them about something that they don't have a connection to for one reason or another. So I think the entertainment industry is just brutal, whether that's acting, especially music. And you're right, Vibrant Lull, when you have built your audience on sex appeal, it's very, very hard. You see what happened to Madonna, right? It's very hard to sustain that over time. Hi, Sincere Saida. It's very, very difficult to sustain that over a period of time. And I don't know that, no, she's not going to be able to sustain that. So dropping the 2 singles was very smart. It keeps you relevant, right? It keeps people talking about you. She doesn't do interviews anymore. So you know, there's that part of it. And people are constantly talking about her. And like I said, she doesn't have to do any of the promoting. Yes, I am looking for a co host because I don't feel like I can hold this down. Hint, hint. Yeah, sincere, but I doubt that she'll take it up. um, hold this down because I'm trying to get over this cold and I didn't want to cancel. It's supposed to be about Beyonce, and then it was cultural appropriation, and then it's whatever you want it to be, sincere Saida, if we can keep it off, uh, if we can keep it to that as opposed to what's going on, because other people do that stuff better, you know, in the sector. So, yeah, I mean, if you can keep it off that, then that's cool. Actually, I can open this up a lot more. We talk about a lot of things. We talk about Monique too. Right. Vibrant law. I'm going to leave that to the experts on that and stay away from it. We can talk about Monique too. You want to fight. What do you want to fight about? Do you want to fight about the Monique, Eric Mays? I don't know who Eric Mays is. You think Monique should have be talking to her son like she is? He's a very articulate, intelligent young man here. That's a conversation between him and his mom, not really between he. Oh, okay, the councilman that died. Okay, he, his mom and daddy. Okay, Vibrant Law. Where's he from? And what are some controversies? I'm surprised again that I don't know who he is. Oh, Flint, Michigan. Okay. For those who are from Michigan, forgive me, but Flint has always been a problem. Detroit has always been a problem. And unfortunately, like many urban cities, you have Black Americans have been running these urban cities for a long, long time. The water's still dirty in Flint. Okay. Let me see it if I know how to do this. All right. Oh, now you want to fight me? Because I said the water's still dirty? It is. The water's still dirty. Did you get that, Saida? It's been dirty for a long time. I agree, Doreen. That's a mom and son conversation. That's what it is. Daddy shouldn't have been in there. Hey, Sincere, thanks for
Hey,
coming up.
Kenna, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
You're liking.
Girl, you said I wouldn't hit the link. I hit links sometimes. I'm getting better with it.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting better with it, venturing out, hitting links. Oh, but look, I want to talk about the Wendy Williams thing, if you don't mind for a second.
Oh, no, you can. Go ahead.
Okay, so I haven't seen the full documentary, and I think there's a part of me just kind of scared about it because there's people in my family who have had Alzheimer's and stuff like that. And when I was young, I worked at an Alzheimer's and dementia care center. Well, they had dementia, not Alzheimer's because it's different, but in the same vein, right? But it bothers me, looking at the transitions that people go through. And I'm kind of upset about the whole thing with Wendy Williams because she has a whole entire son and they didn't give him the opportunity to step in. or maybe they did, and I don't know what happened, but I'm trying to figure out, how does a bank or these other powers that be that have nothing to do with her come in and take her assets, take her monies, take her family away, like just isolate her like that. And then she's reeling, right? And she's time traveling. If you That's what I call it, time traveling, when they have dementia and
Right.
Alzheimer's, because they are going through space and time. They're going backwards and forward, right? And
That's interesting.
so she needs familiar faces, right? Or people that are familiar. And she needs people who really love her. And her son seemingly seems to love his mother.
Right.
And then what happens, like, because that is his inheritance, you know? How do you take over something that somebody else worked for and you didn't put no effort into? I mean, just the whole thing. And the fact that she just went downhill, it seems so rapidly, but really it wasn't like that. It's a progression to that situation, right?
Hmm.
So somebody had to know. Like, and I'm
Hmm.
thinking that husband knew. He had to know, but he was
I'm
too
thinking,
busy,
yeah,
laying up with the other woman.
who dropped him? Um, and he recently took Wendy Williams back to court. I think that was within the last year or two, to try to get some more money out of her. But you're right, dementia is a progressive disease.
Mm-hmm.
So, and on top of that, she has Graves' disease. People, with the thyroid, and that makes your eyes bigger.
Mm-hmm.
In cases, bulging. So she's had a lot of health problems. I know that when she had her show, the two people she could count on the most are no longer here. That's her
Mm-hmm.
dad. They used to come to their show, and she would always spotlight them. And they're no longer here. I'm curious to see, like you are, and I want to watch the whole thing. How does it go from control in the family? And I think her husband had a lot to do with that, because you remember she trusted him with everything.
Mm-hmm.
To Nobody can contact her now. This woman who nobody really knows, the family doesn't know her, she's conservator over Wendy Williams, and just draining her, in my opinion. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, the son isn't going to have anything. But
Mm-hmm.
well, okay, Doreen, the lady, her conservator, was trying to fight them even showing this documentary on Wendy Williams. And it does seem like, I don't know, within the last 8, 9 years, I want to say, she went from not having a show to just rock bottom so quickly.
Well, that
And
husband, he can't get anything because there was a clause in the prenup that he would get monies as long as she has a show. And so when she didn't have a show no more, then he no longer got monies, right? And
right.
so I'm glad that clause was in there. I'm more concerned now, also not only for her health, but also for the fact that this, what she built, like, as parents and as people, like when we work towards something, 9 times out of 10, we're going to pass that down to our family, right? Unless we're just like one of those people who pass everything down to a cat or a dog, um, but it seems to me Wendy was not that type. She wanted to make sure that her son was taken care of, and so on and so forth. So I don't know who this lady is who's over the monies, but I'm hoping that this documentary will, like, bring this woman to light and stop her, because I don't know how much money she's ran through so far. And but you have to follow the money, because I guarantee that woman has done something nefarious, you know.
Oh, yeah, I'm certain of that. I just don't know how it got. Well, I guess if we look at James Brown, and we look at a lot of our the black entertainers, I'm not putting Wendy Williams there, but I'm saying a lot of times people don't handle their business. And
Mhm.
Prince would be another example of that. Michael
Yeah.
Jackson is an example of that. I read somewhere where, I don't know, I think it's $600 million. That's gone to some corporation at this point. So we
Mm-mm.
don't handle our business. We do everything but. Remember Aretha Franklin? How
Mm.
many wills did they have to try? Bench thinker, how are you doing? How many wills were they looking for? I think there were like four of them, and which one was um, the most valid of the four?
Yeah. High
And
talent is. Did you say room shaker? I
I,
can't see her.
what?
But hi, everybody. High talent. I don't know. Did she have four wheels? Oh my God.
Yeah, Aretha Franklin used to be about her money. She was about her
Mm,
money. So when she would perform, she wanted her cash. Not She didn't want it sent to a bank. She wanted her cash, and she left with her cash
mm-hmm.
after every performance that she did. So she was from that particular school in terms of not trusting banks very much. So, but we just don't handle our business, and I don't know how. Okay, so they sold the catalogs. Okay, agreed.
Mm.
Okay, so you see, that's how you lose generational wealth there, though, when the catalogs are sold. What are his children and their children going to inherit? Yeah, of course, they're going to get money, but certainly not the amount of money they could have had. And remember, he owned the Beatles catalog.
Yes, and you know when he bought that Cadillac,
Paul
catalog,
McCartney was never
Paul
happy with
McCartney.
that.
Oh my God,
So
he went crazy. He was so mad at Michael Jackson, but it was business, and I don't know what to say to it. I would have did it. I ain't gonna even lie. I would have bought the catalog too. I ain't gonna even lie if I had the money to do so. Mm-mm.
well, I think
Mm-mm-mm.
if Paul was so upset about it, he was clearly upset about it. Why didn't he buy it?
Child, because he was slipping. Okay, he should have been had did that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't understand. Hey, dear self, I'm so like every time I see something about Wendy Williams, I just get very very like nervous. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, why am I so nervous? Because she's not my family, but something just comes over me, and I just cannot shake it. And it's just wrong. I think it's just because it's fundamentally wrong and I can't take it. And this woman, whoever she is, in the courts and the powers of be that allowed this to happen, they all need to be locked up as far as I'm concerned. But just because she has Graves disease, just because she has Alzheimer's, just because does not mean that her family should not be able to participate in her well-being.
I agree. If nothing else, her son, who dearly loves his mom,
Mm,
he even I think he and his father got into a fisticuff thing there over mom at one point. But if nothing else, the son should be getting some money. He should be in charge of all of that.
he
And
really
I
should.
I just don't know how it ended up in the hands of this um, non-melanated woman.
Hmm.
Okay, and her family, and they're eating handsomely off that.
Her family? What you mean her family?
I'm just putting that out there.
Oh, girl. You know what?
Anybody
I think,
associated with that woman is going to eat
yeah.
well.
I
For
think what happened was Wendy might have became some kind of like ward of the state, if you will, and they assigned somebody to her. But if that's the case, then there should be a overseeing of that, right? There should be like supervisors and so on and so forth when those type of things happen. So if that's not happening and she wasn't assigned that way, how did she get assigned and who assigned her? And what was the premise or the reasoning behind it? Um, how does she become relevant in this family dynamic, like in this woman's world? That is where we need to start when it comes to this. How did you get in this position? Who put you there? And what is the tie between you and that person? Because you cannot tell me there is no ties that bind in this situation.
Okay, but see Vibrant Law's comment where she says that Wendy didn't have her personal documents in order. Where have we heard that before? Since the case, and if the
Mm-hmm.
case was sealed, so assumption would be guardianship was granted to Wells Fargo until parties can come to an agreement. And I guess the ex-husband, he keeps getting into it. It seems that she's got the same problem that a lot of Black entertainers do, and that's you've got too many people with their hands out now. Okay, so they
They
said
said
her
the
family.
family wouldn't be. Why wouldn't the son be in her best interest? That is her son.
I agree, Vibrant Law.
What's the history behind the son that you could say that he wouldn't be for his mother's best interest? There's no proof of that. He hasn't lived long
That's true.
enough to have a trail behind him that shows that he's irresponsible like that.
From all indications, I don't know how old her son is now, but he was going off to college. She was going with him, visiting different college campuses, and there wasn't a. It wasn't like he was a bad kid, out stealing or doing something. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know
Well,
why they thought the son must be at least 24 now. Oh, he
yeah,
took a
he's
hundred.
old enough.
I don't know
Oh,
why they
sorry. I
thought.
gotta turn this off. He's old enough. He's old enough to take care of his mother. He's old enough to take on that responsibility. If they don't feel like he's old enough for that, which I feel like he is, then it could be a team, him and say some outside parties that are not don't have vested interests, right? Where you have the checks and balances going on. That should be happening, and he should be a very intricate part of it because that is his inheritance, right? Because when
Right.
mother passes away, since there is no husband, it goes to the child. But if you have a conservator in place, what happens to the money then? I think that this bank is trying to take her money.
Wells Fargo.
Yeah, they're trying to take her wealth.
It'd be interesting to know what she's worth.
And I wonder if Wendy had any kind of because a lot of times people have like these backdoor conversations with folks, these battles, you know what I mean? Powers are
Mhm.
battling. She had even though she was a talk show host, she had significant power behind her, right? Like her name held weight, and she can kind of move and shake some things. She might have rubbed somebody the wrong way, and when they saw the opportunity to get her, they did.
Could be. Anything's possible because let's not forget she was quite interesting, and I'm putting it diplomatically when she was on the radio. She pissed
Hmm.
people off.
Do you think she knows some dirty secrets and they're scared that it's going to come out, so they're trying to put everything in a way where they can control it so the dirty deeds won't come out? Like one of them big wigs, she maybe have some dirt on them or something, because she had dirt on a lot of people.
Mm,
Now I'm over here like
yeah,
in
but look where they
conspiracy
got her.
theory world, but you know what I'm saying? My mind goes a lot of places because I'm trying to figure out, like, really, what's the deal? Does she have some dirt on one of y'all? You guys trying to cover it up? Now she seems a little loopy and crazy, and so you pounced on her like Tigger. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Something is
Right.
not right.
I don't think something is. I agree with you. I don't think something is right either. And I see what Vibrant Lull is writing that she wasn't a sound mind and body. That's true. That's true.
Mm,
And if the papers are not in order, then anybody can come in. And like I said, the two people who would have been able to stop this are no longer here. Now, I don't even know if her parents were of sound mind and body when she started to veer left, and ultimately it cost her her show. Um, but, this is an alarm again. I certainly don't have her money, never will. But it's an alarm to get your affairs in order. I totally agree, Vibrant Law. Make a living will, specify what you want done, because even if it's $20,000, you'd be
Yeah.
surprised at the number of people that will come out and want a piece of that $20,000.
But why
Um,
can't the son, like, normally, if you don't have a will or something, everything would go to the spouse, right? But if you're divorced, there is no spouse, then it would go to the next living heir, which would be her son. So do you think when she passes away, whenever that happens, um, everything now is out of everybody's control and is now goes to the son? But maybe not, because I don't really know how the conservative thing really goes. Like, I'm thinking that legally they are controlled up until the person passes away.
okay.
I don't
So
think they go
maybe,
beyond that. I could be wrong.
I don't know. Believe it or not, I'm not a lawyer.
And why can't he have a lawyer? Why aren't
That's
any
be
lawyers coming to
funny.
him? No, for real. Why aren't any lawyers coming to the son saying, "Hey, we think we can fight this with you. You can pay us on the back end, and we're gonna get you in position to get everything back in your hand." And they need to bring out a forensic accountant. Where is the forensic accountant? Like, I'm just,
These are
you know
good
what? This
questions. But did you see where Dear
no. What
Self
did you?
said that he borrowed, or he took $100,000 without her permission?
Who did? Wait a minute. Who, the son?
Her son, Kevin Jr., right? He took $100,000 without her permission, and
I mean,
may have
how do
taken
they
more
know
money than
that?
that. I don't know.
How do they know that though? Maybe she gave him permission and then she forgot. She has Alzheimer's.
Yeah, and that's a
Like, where are
progressive
they getting
disease,
that
so
from?
it's not like, I don't know. I don't know.
And what is $100,000 to millions? Like, it wasn't like he just took Like, if he was trying to do his mom dirt, he would have been doing big money, big bank.
6, 7 million.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
this is so weird. This whole thing
yeah.
just a good attorney will make sure you have all your bases covered. Facts. I don't know. I just get very I don't know. Like, you could even tell in my voice right now. I just like, oh my God, oh my God. I'm so scared to watch that thing full on because I do not want to cry, for one. And for two, I just
You don't
can't
want to.
take it. Like, I hate when people do evil things to people.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. I think that, yeah, it's sealed. So I guess we have to, when I say we, I mean collectively, um, we need to see what's going on, period.
Yeah,
And there was a reason why they sealed it. Why did they seal it? Um,
that too. And there's
you
a
know,
campaign going right now. Was it Save Wendy Williams or something? But I think it's good that the campaign has started, right? Because she had enough people who really cared about her, like, followers, fans, and
right,
they will get down to the nitty gritty of it all, right? And it'll call
right,
more awareness. And then you're not supposed to take advantage of somebody when they're in those type of states of mind. And so I think it's going to start taking all the skeletons out the closet. And once that happens, it was a long battle. Like, okay, this reminds me of Britney Spears. um it
I
was a
was going to say
long
that.
battle. You know what I mean? It was a long battle, even with Brittany. Her father was just doing her dirty. Now, this is her father, And
Mhm.
she finally now has freedom and stuff, and I didn't even understand how that came about, but it took people campaigning for Britney. So, not to say that this will turn overnight, but it does show that there is a silver lining, right? There's light at the end of the tunnel. If we just stay on these people's necks, and I mean, if I see any kind
Right.
of when they get on that, what's the name of that thing where you can sign up to campaign against people and stuff? What is the name of that site? But I'm not, if I see anything
Hey,
come down the pipeline, I'm putting my name to it. I'm gonna sign my
oh,
name right there.
yeah. I just think it's really,
Hey,
yeah,
Nikki.
yeah. Hey, Nikki, how you doing? That is triggering, though. I would have thought, but I don't know why that it's sealed. I guess we
Yeah,
need
I
to
don't
start
either.
there. Why is it? Um,
Because somebody did
and
something
we
dirty.
yes, did the hut now? Did the ex do something dirty, or we don't know.
Well, we know he did a whole bunch of dirty crap, but I'm saying somebody higher up did something dirty. Look, it takes a judge, it takes somebody with some kind of authority
Yeah,
to seal stuff, okay? And
that's true.
I feel like Wendy had the kapow on somebody. She had the goods on them. And when they saw that she was kind of looked like she's losing her mind a little bit, they're like, this is our opportunity. And they really might be searching for something, right? Um, the son needs to find that loaded gun. He needs to find that loaded gun. And he needs to start thinking like his mother. He's lived a long enough time with her
Hmm.
to understand how she thinks or how she used to think, right? And if he starts channeling that, he might discover some stuff. And though, now this is me talking from my, like, I'll be all over the place in my mind about stuff. But I feel like when they might have a smoking gun out there on some of them big wigs, judges and everything, like a Heidi
I see.
Fleiss type of situation, but without the, hooker part of it, yeah,
Right.
she might have it.
I see
And
what you. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Um, but notice that some of the people she, I wouldn't necessarily say came after, but they were on her radar for a long, long time. Notice
mm,
what's happening to them, though. One P. Diddy is a prime example of that, right?
is who?
I mean, P. Diddy. You remember when
Oh yeah, P
you
Diddy.
remember that whole debacle with her and P. Diddy years and years ago.
Yeah.
She insinuated something, and he was livid. And he was
Hmm.
in a position, and Wendy had to go to Philadelphia for a while for her radio show. She was actually lucky to actually still stay in the entertainment industry. That's how much power he had back then.
Hmm. The
So,
people that the people that
um,
got Wendy up in this kerfuckle, or was it whatever you want to call it, this problem, they got money, they got power, and she got the goods on them. And they are silencing her. Like, this is like, we're gonna, she looks crazy, so this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna go with the crazy train, then we're gonna tie up
mhm.
her assets, and then we're gonna do this, that, and that. We're gonna push everybody out, and then everything's gonna be, we're gonna put somebody we know up in there, and you look for this, that, and other. you know you have access now to all her documents, to all this, that, and other, you know what I mean? And it was I feel like the whole thing was like some kind of movie is set up, so they're looking for something. And Wendy probably has the goods on some very powerful people, and this is them, tying up all the loose ends in a very nice, neat bow, and nobody would know the
That's
wiser.
interesting. I never thought of it that way. But you remember when she had um, an episode on her talk show. She was dressed up as the Statue of Liberty, and she
Mm-hmm.
had an episode that seemed to me to mark the beginning of the end, in
Yeah.
terms of paint her as crazy. The same thing, and Britney Spears admittedly says that she has to take medication, but what happened to her with her own father, like you say, but he had to have, I think, both of his legs amputated.
The father did?
And he's living in a, yes, he is living in
Mm,
a trailer um, somewhere in Louisiana or Mississippi right now,
mm, mm. Well, I don't feel sorry for
trying
him.
to.
I mean, Father, forgive me, but I don't feel sorry for him. He was dirty towards his child. You don't do your children like that. You just don't do your
Yeah,
children
and
like that.
I think her family is doing the right thing if they can keep this in the spotlight, regardless of
Hmm.
how, I didn't always agree with some things that Wendy did, but that's neither here nor there. I think she has a son, and until he proves that he's just completely incapable of managing, I'm worried about him getting some money. I mean, she's made a ton of money, and the fact that he might not get anything is problematic, you know.
Hmm.
And all these other people come in there and eat up
I'm
everything.
just
Dear
surprised no
Self said
lawyers.
something, huh?
No, I was gonna say I'm
I'm
just
sorry.
surprised no lawyers came out. Um, like where's the Brockovich type people? Well, back in the day before he turned into a piece of crap, but you know what I mean. Like, where's those type of folks where they're like watching this and say, okay, we're gonna come in and we're gonna help this boy. Like, where are they? Where are those lawyers?
But let's be honest, it's a black family.
Yeah, I thought money was colorblind. They say, some people say all I see is green. I don't care what color you
They
are.
sure. All I see is green. But it's a black family, right? Wendy Williams, we don't know how many enemies. She made a whole lot, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And we don't know. Some people are, they don't forgive. You can go to them and say, "Will you accept an apology?" And they don't forgive. Okay,
Yeah.
they and they have strong memories, especially when it comes to money. And she's a black woman, and you see how disposable. I no, I'm not going to apologize for going in that direction. You see how disposable black women are in our society.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Vibrant says some people that make ton of money also spend a ton of money. That's true, but I don't feel like Wendy was the type of person who just spent a ton of money. Like she liked her jewelry and stuff, but she seemed fairly reasonable when it came to, acquiring and it turning over and continually turning over. So I don't know. And then you say, and unfortunately, sometimes family members are not in your best interest. Now that's factual. That is
That's true.
factual because I've seen a lot of craziness go down, and I'm here to tell you, everybody ain't for you and your family, and that's factual. So yeah, but that
That's
that
true.
son, I really feel like he cares about his mother. It's not really about the money for him, but he's deserving of it. Well, let's say this: he should get it because his mother worked for it, and that would be his inheritance, right? And her business savvy and whatever businesses that she has out there, he can make something more for himself and his future and his children. It shouldn't just stop with him, or with her, I should say. Something's not right. I feel like Wendy probably made a lot of powerful enemies. They all converged upon her ass and the plot went down. and they found her
Yeah.
at her weakest moment, which is where she's at now, and they set up the whole entire stage. Hmm.
Do we know if she's staying in a facility or is she in her own place with caretakers? What's going on with that, I wonder?
I don't know. See, I need to watch
Okay, her
documentary, but I don't
paper.
know if the documentary tells you exactly where she is right now. Um, but my understanding is that she's kind of, she's blocked from outside, people. Nobody seems to know. And we don't know what
Okay,
she's looked like, and that's sad because you don't know what her condition is. You don't know if she's fallen or something like that, and she's not mobile, right? That could be a possibility.
right,
Is she still able to
right.
articulate, express herself verbally? What does she look like? And did you see that little chit chat she had with Black China? What was that all about? Like, is that recently? Or is that like, oh, did you see that where Black China came to visit with her and
I
she
did
threw
see
her wig
that.
off? How did Black China know where the hell she was? And who set that
That's
up?
true. They're hell bent on making her look worse than
Yeah,
what
they
she's
want her to
going
look
through
crazy,
physically.
crazy. And
I
they
think. I see. Vibert Law says she's in a care facility, undisclosed care facility. And Vibrant Law brings up a good point. If her papers weren't in order, and she knew she was sick, she probably didn't know she was developing dementia, but she at least knew she had Graves' disease because she's been struggling with that for a really, really long time. No, I agree, Vibrant Law, that the documentary shouldn't be our only source of information. Okay, and Doreen is saying that she's in her own apartment, but if she didn't update she didn't update those papers. That's the bottom line. So was she still married to Hunter? While who knows? I mean, yeah. I mean, are we gonna ever get to the bottom of it? I don't know. But like you say,
somebody's going
her
to get to the bottom
son,
of it.
at the very least, since it's yeah, yeah. At the very least, her son, and who knows? We don't know that he's not hired an attorney. We don't know.
Mm.
Um,
Well, somebody's
but
going to
you
look.
know, these
These
celebrities.
internet sleuths, these fans, these super fans, what they call super fans, they're going to get to the bottom
Oh
of it.
yeah, you're right about that. You are absolutely right about that. Just like they did that free Britney, it's going to be a
Hmm.
free Wendy.
Facts. It's happening right now. I've been seeing it online, and I'm just
Yeah.
scared. Like, I'm. This is the first time you guys have literally seen Sincere in a very cowardly state, because my eyes will not allow me to watch the documentary, though I should. I'm just scared because I like I said, there's been that type of situation, not like her situation, but people having dementia and stuff in my family, and I worked for Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Center when I was younger, and I know, like, I when I used to watch them time travel, it was just very eye opening. It was just like, oh my God. And then sometimes I would play along. This one lady, she always thought I was her daughter. So I would just act like I was her daughter. And we would have like the nicest conversations. And then I would ask her about her youth and stuff, and like what was it like in her day, and boyfriends and things. And she would go in time and tell me about how she was, and then give me some wisdom too, because just because they're like that doesn't mean they don't have something to offer, right? And
That's true.
womanly
That's very true.
wisdom, you know as a woman we should be like this and that, that kind of stuff. but I
Right.
will watch, and I just know it's sad, and I don't know, I feel very sad for Wendy Williams and her family. I really do. Hmm.
Well, we know that documentaries are skewed, and they are biased. And yeah, we should definitely look at Google, but Google has a whole lot of things on there. It would be nice, and I think eventually this will happen. You'll get a celebrity attorney. Um, there is a internet. I forgot his name. He does a lot with high profile cases. So it would be nice to hear a legal perspective. You know, to yeah, it would be nice to hear a legal perspective on things. I think
Hmm.
because there's just too much of speculation. We're speculating, which is one
Yeah.
thing.
But
We
no,
just
I'm
don't know.
speculating. You're being very calm. I didn't come up with a whole damn scenario. I wrote a novel. Okay. I came up
Yeah,
here and wrote a
I kind
novel.
of I do. Well, no, I hate to see this happen. I do, regardless of anything. I hate to see people taken advantage of at their lowest. Um, I wish that she had taken care of her paperwork. But again, and this is, I don't know why, I just want to shake us sometimes. I don't know why we fail to take care of the bare minimum. Is it like this live for today and for you're going to live forever? Barry White didn't take care of his business. Lou Rawls didn't take care of his business. Aretha Franklin left all of these wills. The list goes on and on and on about people, black entertainers not taking care of their business. And then you wonder why and how other ethnic groups end up owning the Prince catalog, for example. Dear Self said earlier that his family sold his catalog. But Prince was
Mm-mm-mm.
so um, protective of his work. Why didn't he? Did he take the time to even say, "Okay, I don't know, I don't know."
I think we
Yeah,
don't
I
take
agree.
time to we don't take time to know ourselves, our family. We get angry and stuff with our family stuff, but we don't take time to know, right?
I agree.
Because there's people in your family that you just know are just whimsical and free spirited, and you couldn't trust them with a damn quarter because they're gonna go spend it quickly, right? And then there's some people who are very you know, forthcoming in their communication. You might not like the way they talk, but they are responsible, right? And you have to kind of figure out who is who in your
Right.
family and then
You think
set the dynamic around that. You have to do that
that's
and
true?
then put it in
Stop and
writing.
think about it. Right. But stop and think about it for a minute. Anybody vibrant, Doreen, anybody in the chat, and you as well, if you all had millions and millions of dollars, okay, myself included, first of all, we wouldn't be talking because I'd be somewhere else.
I wouldn't know you, Kenna. Oh my God. Oh.
But anyway, leaving that aside, how many of your family, your immediate family, could you
Uh-oh. Kenna, are you
uh,
going you there?
am I going in and out?
Well, you have been, and I've been
Okay.
trying to like move with you in it so that we won't
Okay.
overlap. But you went out for like a second though for this time. I was like, oh, you
Oh,
really were gone.
okay. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you were really gone this
But did
time.
you hear my question?
No, say it again.
Okay, I was saying that how many of us, if we had millions and millions of dollars here, could count the number of people in your immediate family that you could know would do the right thing if you could no longer take care of your business?
There's only one person that I can think of, and I have a like extensive family. And not, I mean, I hate to say it, but there's only one person I would really trust to go the whole yard. Like there's others with good intention, like they'll stick in there for a moment, and then it might get too time consuming and stuff like that. But there's one I know for a fact, against all everything, she will go the whole 9 yards, and that's who I would entrust everything to. And it would be a lot for her, but I know she would go the whole 9 yards. for me,
Okay.
That's why I say you got to pay attention to these the
There are
peoples in your
exactly
family.
three people in uh, yeah, three people in my family who I know would handle the business. Whatever little bit I have, they would do right,
Mm,
including taking the
mm-hmm,
dog. Okay. But I can only
mm,
say that about three people. The maternal side of my family, yeah, they're X'd out completely.
yeah,
Uh, we're passing the hat around to pay for funerals, right? So they don't take
yeah.
care of business.
You said you're passing their hat around, but that's a lot of
And
families.
yeah, but you have to start, funerals are expensive. They're expensive. And a lot of Black people don't believe in cremation. So if somebody else is paying for the funeral, you're going to have
Then
to come up with
it's on
some,
them how they
have a
want things
life
to
insurance
go.
policy or that's true.
Vibrant
That's
says,
true.
and okay, so one is used the usual number, and since one is a usual number, a backup is mandatory in case something happens to that one. Child, you guys have been hearing me talk about my sister, one of my sisters, right? This girl, she's so, I love her, but she's just so all
Yeah.
over the place. And I mean, I could look, I just would not with that one. And it's not to say she doesn't love me, and not to say that she probably wouldn't try, but I just know that she'll be like, it's kind of like, hello, hello, are you there? She reminds me of that. And so I probably just wouldn't. You got me thinking now, Vibrant. I got to think about one more person. Lord, Father, I need a backup to the backup. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. I
Mm-mm-mm.
mean, we could, yeah, we have to start thinking about these things. I know it's not pleasant. It's ugly, but what's uglier is to leave your family in a situation. Um, and
Yeah.
yeah, Vibrant, you're right. Funerals come in all price ranges, and trust and believe. If my money is involved, it's the cheapest. So that would be cremation and
You said the
whatever
cheapest.
else. I'm serious, Sayeda, because no, you're going 6 feet under, so there's no reason to spend all of this money. And that's just my thinking. That's just the way I
No,
think.
I think the same way as you.
So
I
you
think the
don't
same
have
way
to
as
have,
you.
yeah, yeah. I just don't believe in, even if I had it, I wouldn't spend it. I'm that kind of person, though. I think we're
Well,
all raised very differently, obviously.
religiously, it's not. I'm not supposed to be cremated. If I was to go by that, things happen very
Mhm.
quick.
Yeah, me either.
When it comes to us, we get buried very quickly. Um, so
Right.
more than likely, whoever's hands it in, they're not going to allow for me to be cremated. But I have vocalized it before, like, hey, you know, I ain't gonna be nowhere near that body. Get the money. I say it like that all the time. And everybody looks at me like, oh my God, sacrilege. Like they feel like they're looking at me crazy, but I know what's going on in them heads. They don't have to say anything. I know what I can see through your eyes, the windows of your eyes. I know what you're thinking. Them gears are turning in your head. I know what you're thinking. But in my mind, I'm thinking, hey, I'm not gonna be nowhere near that body. I'm gonna be somewhere because I believe energy doesn't die. So I'm gonna be somewhere having a good time somewhere else, and I ain't coming back to something that don't work. I'm gonna be in something that's working. You know, that's how I think. But yeah, yeah. I have to, so they're not that more than likely when it comes to me, they're going to want to get it done quickly within the manner of time that's supposed to be done, and they're going to want to put me in some dirt. Mm-hmm. And that costs too.
Right.
Yes, it does.
I agree, Vibe, that, yeah, all of it costs. I agree that cremation is not necessarily cheap. But, I have family, they don't have a pot, window, flooring, or anything else. And not here to put them down, but they won't take care of business. That's why they don't have a pot, window, flooring, and they don't have life insurance. And as I said, that if I have to put out any money, then we have to go with what's my budget can afford, and
Yeah.
and I don't care who buys it. Um,
Right. Right.
luckily,
You're right. My
I
religion is not going to pay for it. I would have to pay for it. My family would
luckily
have
my
to pay
parents
for
are
it.
yeah, luckily my parents are still alive and they have taken care of business.
That's
Um,
good.
so they've got their plots. They've got all of it. All of it's done.
Yeah.
So I've never seen anything like it. So when
But
I
everything is good.
talk
Like
to
my
other
dad passed
people,
away, but everything still is good for my
and
mom.
what
I
they
don't
say
have to
about
worry
their
about
elderly
that.
parents, they don't know what's going to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But regardless of how people feel about Wendy Williams, it's another case. I hate to say it, but it's going to be another case study in law school. James Brown, when he died, his estate was so convoluted that it became a course in law school, when they were doing
Really?
wills
I
and
didn't know
probates
that.
and everything else. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
That
interesting.
thing
I
was
didn't know
so
that.
tangled up. It was just messy, really, really messy. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be that way if people would just plan, and put things in writing, and just specify what you want done. It's hard to think about things like that, but you have to think about things like that. That's what I always say.
Well, I know one
Yeah.
thing that
I don't know.
death is the one thing that will come to all, right? And so we should be prepared for it. Also, if there's any of us in this
Right.
world that have some kind of decency about ourselves, when we see something that's not right, if we have the ability to assist in making it right, let's try to make it right. That's why I said, like, if I see any
Mhm.
petitions come down, what is that called, something.org, or about Wendy Williams, I'm going to sign. I'm going to do my little part
Mhm.
because I think it's just fundamentally wrong how her son is being treated. And and maybe I'm on some good Samaritan BS or something, but I feel it in my spirit and my soul that I'm right when I'm saying that you just don't do people like that and their family like that, and I wouldn't want anybody doing that, messing around in my family dynamic. It's wrong. It's just wrong. And so if I see anything where I can, like, put my John Hancock to it, I will. And hopefully, enough of us feel that way where we can move something, shake up some things, and we can really see if maybe Sincere is talking crazy or she talking real. Is there some powers to be out there playing games with Wendy Williams and her family? Um, how did this happen or whatever? What is it? Is it
Right.
is it some kind of movie like, so what's his name, what is his name, he has the same thing as Wendy Bruce, is this some kind of Bruce Willis movie or something, like
Well,
you know
Bruce Willis has the same thing, right? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, he does. But his
Yeah.
family, his
But
daughters
the
are
difference
taking
is
care of
Bruce
him.
has a
Bruce Willis is in the same situation, but his daughters are
right.
taking care of him. Demi Moore is helping as well. That thing over there seems to be tight and within the family. So how is it that he has that, but Wendy Williams is just so fractured? And I can only believe that she might have, because the type of life she lived and the kind of things that she would put out, she has some dirt on some people, and they are now using her circumstance to shut everything down. little payback at the same time. But basically, they're trying to make sure that none of their dirt comes out, because it might be something very, 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 you know, very, very shattering, life shattering. And then Wendy, she worked in those type of realms. Wendy
Well,
had
I
dirt on
haven't.
people.
Mhm.
Hi,
I
Maya. Her
honestly
papers were not in
hadn't
order,
thought
more than
about that
likely.
angle. I really didn't.
Well, I'm over here just in another world with it. But I feel like that might be the case. But we will see, because let me tell you, what's done in the dark will come to the light. And that's for certain. It's just when it comes to light.
That's
You know,
true. That's
it's just when
true.
it comes to light. So we'll see. But look, I enjoyed chitter chatting with you. I'm gonna get off of here for a second because I got a couple of things to do, and then I'll be back running the streets. And if you're live still, I'll come back over.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for hopping up in the first place, because it would have been hard.
I hope I didn't sound too crazy. I hope I didn't sound too
No, you
crazy
gave
with
me
my
something to think
communication.
about. No, you
Oh,
gave me something to think about. So I really appreciate your stopping in. I do.
and when I catch
Um,
you live, I need to share you out more often, because Kenna, you have a nice little channel, and I don't understand why. Like, there's a lot of CCs out here that deserve a little bit more. They deserve more support. Like, I'm one of them, because
I
we have enjoyable channels and stuff, and it's like a monopoly or something going on. It's weird, but anyways, that's another subject for another day. Hmm.
well, no, it isn't. I mean, but it's all what people want to listen to, right? Um, I have the faithful who will come over, but I decided to go in a different direction this year. I just not interested in whatever that is. Leave
Well,
that
at
to
least you
you
didn't
and
leave
others
like Houston
to
Bread.
do
Houston
whatever
Bread,
that
she just left. Like, what happened to Houston Bread? She just left.
is. Did she channel?
Kenna left again. Are you back?
I didn't know she had a channel.
Yeah, Houston Bread has a channel.
Oh
And then she
no!
left.
Did Houston Bread have a channel?
Yeah. You
Okay,
didn't know that?
okay. Well, when you're getting it from the mud, as they say, it's hard when you're getting it from the mud, and it doesn't help if you don't go live all the time. She is a cool
Yeah.
person. If you don't go live all the time, then you got to go live all the time. And to be honest with you, I don't feel like it, obviously.
Well, no, you have a
Obviously.
life. A lot of us
So,
have a life.
and yeah, yeah, the,
We have
the
lives.
stamina
But anyways, I'm gonna
just
leave.
isn't there for this.
I'm gonna leave because, and there's a delay also, but
Okay.
I
Thanks for
have fun
stopping
chit
in.
chatting. All right, see you, Kenna. See you in the streets too.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Okay. Bye. Okay. Well, it was nice to have a co host. Saida, you're welcome anytime. Vibrant Lull, if I could ever get you to click the link, but that will never happen. So you gave some really good information, Vibrant Lull. It behooves us to take our affairs seriously, our financial affairs. You don't have to be a multimillionaire or millionaire or even close to it, but do your planning um, with the will, the final expenses, getting some life insurance. Life insurance doesn't get any cheaper as you get older. So if you're in a position to get it, and you can get some kind of insurance, you can get some kind of policy. So people need to make sure they do that, and they need to spell out their wishes so that they don't leave their families hanging. And I know this. I think you have to be open to whatever where people want to go in terms of topics and so forth. Hey, Michi Black, how are you? And that's what I try to do, because otherwise I'll just end up repeating myself over and over again about things that we're really not interested in. So I agree, Vibrant Lowell. If you're breathing, you need papers. Got to have those papers. Got to have the life insurance. Got to make sure you have a beneficiary named and a second if for some reason not able to do that. These things are incredibly informative. But who wants to talk about the Monday, right? This is boring to many people. But we always see what happens to entertainers. We see that over and over again, right? And you just don't take care of your yes, get the wills. Get the wills. And you can do the wills yourself. No, Young, she was not talking about permanent residency papers. Goodness gracious, where is your mind? We're all permanent residents. We were born here. That makes us permanent residents. I don't know. One person's link, it seems. I'm not sure I want to hear from you. I mean, he needs to. Vibrant. He needs to. Who's Duke? Or two, but I don't know what you're talking about when you're talking about citizenship papers. Remember, I assume you're a citizen, or maybe I shouldn't assume that either. But anyway, I want to thank you all for stopping in, and thank you so much as always. No, Vibrant's never going to hit the link, Young. She'll hit it when you hit it, and you're never going to hit the link. So I want to thank Doreen, dear self, Nikki, Saida, Vibrant, Young, Strictly Platinum always supports me. I mean, these are people who even challenge, as a matter of fact. It won't be a weight loss challenge, but I might do one on something else. I'd be curious to see how that goes. Oh, I'm all over the map, Young. I don't really. I'll start with one topic and then end up somewhere else. It depends on who the co-host is, or if you know, 15 minutes is max. That's what I can do. But yeah, I really haven't done a video recording in a while. I'm going to start going live more. I think that's just the only thing to do. I have to be honest in saying, you know, it comes natural for some people to click that live button, but this is not natural for me to click the live button and just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. That's not really natural. Not unless I have, you know, the kind of engagement like Saida was giving, and even in the chat. I'm a chat person. And I will say this too. Some people would be better off hitting less links and staying down in the chat with the rest of us. You know, I think there's something to be said for staying down in the chat and typing. That requires a lot more intellectual energy.